and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys. Once again, we are going to be talking transfers in today's video, and we're also going to be having a really exciting look at the team that we're building ahead of next season. We are going to be discussing the future of Robert Lewandowski, following up on that second bid that Barça have made this summer. We're also going to be talking about Joules, Kounde, and the optimism that is growing there surrounding his signing. Of course, as well, the future of Ousmane Dembélé and the stance that Barça are going to be taking in these crucial final few days of his current contract. And we are going to be taking a look at the reported dream lineup of Xavi ahead of the new season, looking into that and discussing it position by position. It is all coming up right here today, guys. So come on, and let's do it. Because first of all, if we do indeed begin by talking about some of those potential new arrivals this summer who could really be adding to Xavi's options and strengthening our squad for the coming campaign, because I want to talk here very briefly about the economic levers, because next week it is widely expected now that Barca are going to activate the very first economic lever. We know the levers, of course, have been approved. We know that they can indeed take place. The members voted in favour, but now it is about activating them, and crucially there, that first one, it's going to be activated before the end of the month. And then from next week, once that's done, there's a real feeling that Barca then, we will start to see some serious moves. We will start to commit a lot more fully to some of these deals, and then, for me at least, this summer begins. Because I do believe that up until this point, it sort of felt as though Barca were testing the water a little bit in this summer transfer window. Some of the approaches that we've been making, some of the offers that we put in, it's felt as though Barca were not fully committed to them. They weren't exactly going all out until they knew that income was coming in, until it had been approved, the economic levers, and then indeed, once they've been activated, then we've got that full go-ahead. Because you look right now at the Robert Lewandowski situation, for instance, and you look as well at that second bid that came in, 35 million euros plus 5 million in variables. That's a 40 million deal, but it was barely more than our first offer. Let's be realistic here, guys. We added literally 3 million onto that initial offer there by way of buy-in, and I don't really feel as though Barca ever felt like that was going to move them. I think Barca knew deep down that buy-in again weren't really going to acknowledge that offer, especially since it has been reported that those 5 million in variables, they're apparently very, very difficult to reach. Barca there putting in that offer that was essentially 35 million. But I think right now it seems to me like the club are very calm. You know, they're holding a little bit back. I do believe that Barca will go higher. They can certainly go higher than that. Buy-in apparently, of course, are holding out for around 50 million euros. But I still believe right now, looking at this deal, the most likely scenario that we will see next from Barca is that 40 million guaranteed, a 40 million fixed value, but then add-ons on that. There may be, say, 10 million worth of add-ons to take that to 50. Maybe some of them will be easier to achieve, but some of them may be hard. So Barca here, they've got full belief in what they're doing. They still expect to sign Lewandowski this summer, and the activation next week of the economic lever probably will see us go further. Then though, there is also the matter of Joules Kounde and exactly what is going on with him right now, because Barca are targeting both this summer. Believe me, it's not a matter here of Lewandowski or Kounde. They want both, and they fully intend on bringing both in, because apparently this morning reported there that Kounde has actually already spoken with Xavi, and actually at quite some length as well, where Xavi outlined the club's project, exactly where he sees Kounde and where they can move forward together. And apparently Kounde, he would be really excited about joining up with Xavi, being such an important part of our defence, and he'd be more than happy to join, providing that both Barca and Sevilla now can agree that fee. However, there has been big news over the past 24 hours when it comes to Kounde and our position in negotiations, because it has been now very widely reported that Chelsea are no longer targeting Kounde as a priority. It is said right now that Kounde was more of a target of Marina Granovskaya, who is basically Chelsea's director of football, who has recently departed from the club. She has now left her position under the new owners, and as a result of that departure, Thomas Tuchel is now taken over on transfers, and this summer apparently he's got 2 players who are higher on the list than Jules Kounde, with Chelsea now actively targeting and close to making an offer for Matthijs de Ligt, which now means that Chelsea have backed away in this race for Kounde. And that is huge, huge news for us, guys. I cannot stress that enough right now. That is massive. Because if you think about it here, your main and only, Chelsea are the only other club right now who are in for Kounde this summer. They have pulled out effectively from the race to sign him. They are looking at other targets now, and that strengthens Barca's negotiating position. That means that now Sevilla know only too well they can't initiate a bidding war. They're not going to be able to have 2 different clubs here pitting them against each other and playing them off and getting to raise their bid. They don't have that. When you've only got 1 club there coming in and making that approach, it certainly strengthens us right now. It makes it easier, I feel, to drive down that asking price. To say to Sevilla, look, we are going to offer this. And honestly, what else is out there right now for them? We said in the last video, yes, they could keep him. Yes, they could hold on to Kounde. But come next summer, he's entering the final year then of his contract. Sevilla, for me, they'll want to sell now. They need that added boost to their finances. In terms of financial fair play in La Liga, we're all aware. And Barca now, with Chelsea backing away, this is our huge chance. And we must snatch it. But of course, guys, we also must discuss the future and the stance on both sides of Ousmane Dembélé right now, and indeed Barcelona. And just to basically put it all on the line right now, this is what's happening. Dembélé, as of today, is saying, look, I still want more money. I still expect you, Barca, to raise your offer in order to keep me at the club. And then you got Barca who are saying, there's the offer. It's been on the table since December. You are lucky that it's still there on the table right now. It's the only offer really that you've got. We will not raise it in the slightest. Barca are holding firm. Dembélé is holding firm. And what I find absolutely incredible in this, guys, is that on Friday, it was reported there in the Catalan media that Moussa Sissoko this summer, he is demanding a €45 million signing bonus. So that's a fee that's paid to the player. You know, probably some of that will go to the agent as well, no doubt. And also on top of that, $25 million a year gross salary plus bonuses for Dembélé. Now, you would look at those numbers and you'd think, okay, no chance there. There is no way that that is real, that is accurate reporting. Those numbers cannot be true. But at the same time, then you think to yourself, well, why does nobody want him? You've got a player here who is incredibly talented, that Dembélé is, who does have potential, does have quality, all of this stuff, and he's available technically on a free this summer, but nobody wants him. And you have to ask yourself why that is. And those demands, maybe they are a bit inflated, maybe they're not completely accurate, but for sure, the demands they are making, they are ridiculous. And that is why they've been left with nothing as of right now. What is interesting as well, especially when we're looking now at July the 1st, remember, on that date, Dembélé will officially become a free agent. His contract at Barca will come to an end, and he will have no club and no wage. And on that day, it's now being said Barca will withdraw their offer. They will effectively say, that's it now. We are out. And the feeling within the club is they kind of got to do that. At a certain point, in terms of the club's image, in terms of how we're viewed in the footballing world, you've got to stand up for yourself. You can't allow yourself here to be walked all over. There has to be a point where we say, as a club, enough is enough now. We've waited a long, long time. We're not going to wait around forever. We are going to take this into our own hands, draw the line, and when the time comes, walk away. And that is the feeling now in the Barca boardroom. And just speaking personally here, guys, I think when July the 1st comes, not just me, but I think in general, every single one of us here, there will be relief. And I do just hope that on that day, let's just end this saga one way or another. Please, just make it stop. But if we do indeed now move on to Xavi's dream lineup ahead of the current season, and this was a report here that came out on the cover this morning of Mundo Deportivo. This is the lineup that they feel that Xavi would be most happy with and most comfortable with. They're heading into that brand new season, and there's a few, for me, really, really big talking points. Because the first thing there would be, what a centre-back duo that would be, in my opinion. Now, we've said it before, Jules Kounde, alongside Ronald Araujo. I mean, does it get better than that there in terms of planning, not just for the now, but for the future as well? Two young, really exciting centre-back. And you'd have Piqué, Christensen, Eric Garcia all waiting in the wings there as cover as well in the centre-back areas. Jordi Alba would be there at left-back. I'm sure that we'll be looking as well to bring in a backup option for him. Azpilicueta at right-back is an interesting one because I'm still not really sure that's a deal that is going to go ahead, that is going to be able to happen. And I think even if it did, would Dest, for me, still get in that team ahead of him? I think he would. I think on form, if he was feeling at his very, very best level, Dest would be in the team for me. But we've also been linked as well with a few other right-backs as well. So that's certainly a position there that does remain open. You've got Busquets, Pedri and De Jong in midfield, but as you can see there is every chance that could be not Frenkie De Jong, but Bernardo Silva in midfield. And right now I would say that De Jong is definitely closer to leaving the club than staying this summer. You've got obviously Kessié, Nico, Gavi as well, who could also come in those midfield positions. And then up front, Dembélé, still right now, he is in that lineup from Mundo Deportivo, as is Rafinha. And to be honest right now, I would say neither of those are all that likely. Rafinha, far, far too expensive for Barca. Dembélé, as we've discussed, still no idea what he's going to do in his future. But I think as well, we have to look as well at other options. Di Maria, people like that are being mentioned. And of course, there are players from within who could come into that area. Ansu, Ferran on the left-hand side. Great cover and depth there in those roles. And then Lewandowski leading the line at Barca. That would be the dream, of course. But I think it's also fair if I just bring in here Aubameyang too. We can't forget about him. Even if Lewandowski does arrive, he's still going to be an important player. He's still going to be a player who could score crucial goals at crucial moments. And we cannot, and we should not, forget about that. But I am just wondering here today, guys, what you're thinking here, looking at that potential lineup. Are there things that you would change? Are there players that you would like to see come into that? How many of those players do you feel will be in our team starting the brand new season? I honestly wouldn't say all of those. I don't think that is going to be exactly how it's going to look. But let me know down below, what would you like to see? What will we see? And please, guys, do indeed leave your thoughts down below on everything we have discussed today, from the transfer plans of Barca there, Lewandowski, Joules, Kounde, and indeed the latest on Dembélé. What do you see happening? At the end of the day, I will be seeing you soon, with lots more videos to come. Thank you indeed for the fantastic support all the time. I really, really do appreciate it, guys. But until next time, as always, Vishka El Barça.